Yeah, preseason was very hard, very challenging for our guys. I think it was probably the most that they've been challenged both physically and mentally in their lives, and that was a good thing. And so we spent the first couple weeks of really, there was a point there where I think we had 9 straight practices, all of them in full pads, tackled quite a bit, tackled more than they have ever tackled here before, and just wanted to instill or continue to instill the culture of toughness with our team, and I think we were mission accomplished on that. We dealt with a few concussions early on, which nowadays there's no messing around with those concussions. Once a kid says he's got a headache or whatever, then the protocol starts. And so we had some guys miss some extended periods of time with concussions, which was disappointing, but other than that, stayed relatively healthy. And then now it's just a matter of, now we've got to build, get our legs back. We round them pretty good, a lot of reps, a lot of physicality. And so now it's just a matter of getting the freshness back for Saturday.
We'll take questions for Coach Herman. Please star 1 on your telephone to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
And our first question is from Dan Tortora from Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. I know that you just made the statement preseason was very challenging physically and mentally on the guys. You said might have been the most they've ever been challenged in that respect. What makes you say that? What was it about your preseason camp that was so challenging, more so than they've had before?
I don't know. I guess that's probably a bit unfair because I don't know what things were like here in the past. Really don't care, to be honest with you. I do know what a few of the kids that I trust have told me, but just the fact that the duration of practice was something that was different for them. The physicality of practice, like I said, we tackled in full pads damn near every day for 2 weeks straight, and then again we were pushing them mentally in terms of just paying attention to the smallest of details, where if we tell you to sprint 10 yards and you pull up at 9 yards and 7/10, that's not good enough. We're going to send you back, and we're going to have to do it all over again. And so, constantly, they're 18 to 22-year-old kids they're human beings. The human nature, the human element says, I'm gonna try to make this as easy as possible on myself and my body. And we had to train their minds to shut that out and be almost non-human, if you will, and eliminate the human element.
When you're trying to eliminate the human element and training them to do more than what they've done before, who are some of those, as far as the environment as a whole, do you feel like the team as a whole has bought into what you're doing and has really gotten behind this new culture you're trying to create?
I do. I think that's interesting, and it would not be possible if it weren't for, the one thing we have around here, which gives me hope that we can have a successful season, is our best players are our hardest workers too. Our 4 captains, and Adrian McDonald, Kenneth Farrow, Alex Cooper, and Elandon Roberts are by far the hardest working guys on our team, and yet they're also really good players, potential all-conference players, and they're great guys and great leaders. So I think when you have those guys, and I think we had a lot of seniors with some buy-in early, especially in January and February when we were really grinding them pretty good, and so I think that was really key to keeping or getting the rest of the team on board, was that we had our leaders and our senior class were probably the first to buy in, which then helped kind of drive the ship a little bit.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move on to Shannon Green from Orlando Sentinel.
Hi, Coach. Hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing great, Shannon. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. I'm curious to know, obviously at this point, it's so early in the season, you're still figuring out what the team is going to do, with their identity is. What's the biggest thing that you look to establish in a season opener?
we've got to establish, first and foremost, you know, we talked that our team, I don't know how good we're going to be, but it takes no talent to be physically and mentally tough, and it takes no talent to be accountable to the brothers, to your teammates. And so that's the biggest thing. I want to see us play really hard, not worry about mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen, especially in the first game. But just go really hard and be very, very physical. And, you know, when you play and when you're sacrificing yourself, you're doing it for not your own joy of winning the game, but for the joy of the guy standing next to you. I think if we can accomplish those things, and then just be fairly disciplined, you know, the pre-snap penalties, if you will, procedural penalties. I'd like to make sure that we're few and far between on that front, because that'll tell me how dialed in and focused our guys are. But at the end of the day, if we play really, really hard and run around and hit people and not worry about making mistakes, then I'll consider it a success.
And I know we talk about players and their excitement heading into a season opener. This is also your first head coaching gig there. What kind of excitement are you experiencing right now?
Probably a lot more nervousness than excitement, a lot more anxiety than excitement. But no, it's great. It's something I've worked for. My family's worked for. The staff has worked for a long, long time, and I'm going to enjoy it. I think you hear too many horror stories, not horror stories, but you hear, you know, coaches, older coaches than me, coaches that have mentored me, and they regret not soaking it in. They regret getting too wrapped up in the anxiety and the nervousness that they don't enjoy the day and enjoy the moment. And so I'm going to do my best to try to make sure I do that.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
And we'll move on to Joseph Duarte from the Houston Chronicle. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Tom.
Hi, Joseph. Are you downstairs right now?
I am, but I like to get on the conference call.
Okay.
Hey, I was just checking. You have a couple of true freshmen that cracked your first two deep. Anything about those guys that stands out that you were able to, you know, to have the confidence to have those guys in there to begin the?
You're talking about Mekhi and
like
Tyreek, right?
like Tyreek and Nick A and Josh Jones and Will Noble.
Yeah, I think Josh Jones is probably a little bit of a placeholder. I mean, I don't think Josh. Right now, if we had something happen at tackle, we would have to do some shuffling around. Will Noble is definitely the next inside guy in the game. He's been a pleasant surprise. You know, I haven't seen a true freshman offensive line play in a long, long time, and that's real. He can help us win, and he'll be, you know, if something happens to one of those three inside guys, he would be the next one to go in. And Mekhi is a physical specimen. You know, he can run and hit, and he's big, and he's explosive, and has certainly earned the spot there as the backup inside linebacker, and I would suspect he'd play quite a bit, especially on special teams and in our dime kind of pass rush package to get a bunch of fast guys on the field. And then Tyreek is more of a product of how disappointing the backup wide receivers have been, as much as he is a product of himself just going out and being, you know, having a ridiculous fall camp. He is one thing that has surprised me about Tyreek. He loves football. He is a genuinely hard worker. When the ball is snapped, he goes 100 miles an hour, catches the ball really well. He just doesn't know. He doesn't know his left from his right now, but at least he goes out and gives 110%. And, you know, if we got to put a wristband on him to get him to run the right route, we'll do it, because his effort and intensity level has earned him that spot.
Right. Thank you.
Coach, we thank you for your time this morning. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right.